How do you get ideas for research papers? What are some ways to come up with good research paper topic ideas? In this video, I'm going to give you a bunch of simple ways to generate great research paper ideas for any class in high school or in college. But if you're watching this video for PhD thesis ideas, you may be out of luck. Now, this channel is primarily life science focused, so most of my examples will be science related. But in reality, you can take any of these strategies and apply them to any course or domain. Let's get started. So your teacher or professor has let you loose and allowed you to pick whatever topic you want in a certain category or field of study for your research project. Or they've given you a very broad category and asked you to come up with a specific idea for a paper. For a lot of students, coming up with the idea is the hardest part of the entire paper or project. There's the paradox of choice when you have too many options and none of them will make you happy. You're dissatisfied with everything, thinking there's always another or better idea out there. Or you might have analysis paralysis and you're overthinking which topic to use and you just become paralyzed and you can't think of anything. Then there's the struggle of finding something that's both interesting to you, has enough research to be worthy of a paper, and will get you that good grade that you really want. You might feel pressure to find a topic that's cool, fun, flashy, creative. Then you're stuck. There's just nothing out there, or you don't even know what to search for to begin. Or you don't know where to look. When we have access to nearly all of the knowledge of mankind at our fingertips, it's really hard to know where to start. In fact, it's often hard to be creative with any open-ended assignment in school. I'm going to give you a few places to start, and then you can pick and choose the method that you think will work for you in finding your research paper idea. Number one, current events. So open up a paper that you've read before or one you enjoy or one that's local to you and look at the top topics in the category that your class is in. For example, go to the science news section of the New York Times. If there's an article title that's interesting to you, click on it and then think about doing your research topic on that article if you want. Remember, a lot of current events, especially in science, may not have a lot of other sources that are on that exact same topic. What you may want to do for your paper is research the background or related fields to something that's recently happened or recently been discovered. And if you have trouble accessing an article through a news website, you can use a community library card or the library at your school, which probably has a lot of online resources that you didn't even know about at your fingertips. And speaking of the libraries, that brings me to my second suggestion for finding research paper ideas, which is an actual physical library. So close your computer, log offline, put your phone away, and go in person to a physical library. There, you want to go to the nonfiction section and just browse the shelves. It may seem like a lot, but it's actually a lot less choice there in the physical library than there is on the internet as far as information is concerned. When you see something that is eye-catching or an interesting topic, pull it off the shelf and flip through the pages. You might want to go to the index or the back of the book to get a general idea about some of the topics that are in that book. And then if you find something really interesting, look in the surrounding shelves. Most libraries in their nonfiction section are still organized by the Dewey Decimal System, which means there will be other topics related to the topic from the book that you just pulled in the surrounding area. So take some time, get a pile of books, sit on the floor, find a reading corner, and look into something through books. Now, this may not be the most up-to-date information, but once you're inspired by an idea, then you can go back to the internet and start collecting more recent sources to back up the ideas that you're interested in. My number 3 suggestion can also be done at the library, and that's finding ideas from works of fiction that are interesting to you. So please don't write the classic paper on how real is the science in Jurassic Park, because I guarantee you teachers have read that paper a million times. But you could find another book that's a complete work of fiction and focus on something within the book that you think you want to analyze. How realistically was it presented in the book? What did the author get right? What did they get wrong? And this doesn't have to be science fiction for a science class. You can also not only pull from things that you're interested in works of fiction, like books and TV shows and movies, but also personal experiences. This can be from travel, from conversations, from problems you've encountered in your life, or just any observation. If you notice there's a lot of litter in an area near your school or a certain environment near your university, maybe you could research the impacts of particular types of litter on ecosystems or how long certain things take to biodegrade. Maybe you had an argument with friends about whether or not chocolate is good for you. That could be the focus of your research paper. Maybe you went on vacation to another state or another country and you noticed a particular kind of wildlife that interested you or you thought was neat. That could be your focus. Maybe you saw something that grossed you out or you thought was kind of weird in a museum. Maybe that is your research topic. The more you can draw from personal experience, the richer your research ideas will be and the more you'll have to write about. But of course, it is a research paper, so make sure you gather sources of things to back up what your own observations were. Along with arguing with your friends, there's argument in other places, including the internet, which could be another source of inspiration for a research paper. Maybe there's a popular rumor going around or something that you want to debunk with scientific or historical research. You can do that and be the know-it-all in the room the next time somebody brings it up on Twitter. YouTube is another great way to start, at least for inspiration. There are so many great science channels or other educational focused channels, but take one that's popular or that you already follow and watch a video on something that you're interested in. A lot of these videos post their sources within the video description. So things like SciShow, Kurzgesagt, Veritasium, even museum channels have great sources within their video descriptions that you can use as a starting point for your own research. Remember, you don't want to just copy what a YouTube video said. You want to use it as a starting point to gather more ideas and other sources so that then you can put all of these ideas together to form your own conclusions in your paper. If something inspires you online, you can also look for inspiration in your own personal interest. Or you can do a mashup of two of your interests together. I'm a big fan of Broadway musicals, and I was also interested in neuroscience in college. Yeah! In one of my classes, we were looking at medical anthropology topics. I had just seen the musical Next to Normal on Broadway, and so I decided to write a paper on the representation of manic depression in popular media. I was so into this idea because I loved the musical so much that I got in touch with one of the authors of the books we were reading in class, and she actually wrote back to me and gave me some of her own insights into some of the ideas that I was writing about. When you're passionate about a topic or really interested in it, it'll show in your work, and you'll be able to shine in your research and in your writing. The last place I'm going to offer as a suggestion for research topic ideas is your class. So something may have been said in class that really sparked your interest or that you thought was cool. Maybe there was an interesting historical anecdote in a lecture that your teacher or professor was giving. Maybe you did a really fun lab and you want to learn more about the phenomenon you were studying or something that happened in the lab that didn't go according to plan. Whatever it is, don't be afraid to talk to your teacher or professor about this idea to get more information about the thing that was said or the lab that you did. This is a great reason to pop by office hours or shoot your professor an email. And don't worry, I have videos on both those topics if you're nervous about doing them. But even a tiny tidbit of information that you thought was interesting or curious could be a great starting point for your research paper. What questions do you have about generating ideas for research papers? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Give this video a like if it's been helpful, and I'll see you later.